government for the people, right outside of MSB. It is every time I come to work, every morning when I leave, or not every morning when I come to work, every night when I leave, I see the piece and it reminds me of what my day was like. It's all about wrestling for whatever you think is important of the day. And sometimes you end up on top and it feels great, and sometimes you end up on bottom and it's a little bit bruising. But it is an awesome testament to what everybody does within the municipal services building, what we do in City Hall, to try and really drive the people's agenda to make the city better.
Well, the piece behind me, Government of the People, is one of my all-time favorite pieces. I love this piece for a few reasons. One of the reasons is just its sheer kind of massive size, the mass of bronze on this plaza. Also, when you look closely, you see it is a mass of bodies kind of writhing and propping each other up and working towards a common goal, which in this case is ultimately lifting the flag of the city of Philadelphia. It's in this location, this seat of government, as a reflection of this democracy, this government of the people. So I love that about it, and I also love that sort of the bravery and audacity of the artist to propose this kind of giant, bulbous, lumpy thing in this very kind of right-angled and austere, early, whatever it is, 1960s municipal services building, and against the backdrop of our City Hall building. I just think the contrast between the architecture and the sculpture are phenomenal.
So there are a lot of pieces of public art that I like. Some that I don't like also. The one behind me, Government of the People by Jacques Lipschitz, is one of my favorites. But one that I wanted to talk about is Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority piece, The Clothespin by Klaus Oldenburg, which is around the corner here at City Hall. And the Clothespin speaks to me as an artist, but then also as a citizen of the city. It is essentially a giant clothespin that's sitting on the sidewalk, and it's very gestural in a sense. It doesn't have to have a giant narrative, but it makes the audience think. And so there's a certain factor of how that artwork is surprising to the public, because no one expects to see a giant clothespin on the sidewalk. But then they think about it, and then there's something else that's there. And so in that way, the element of surprise, the element of unfamiliarity becomes interesting.
I'm sure a lot of people are saying this, but we're right here in front of the clothespin, and when it was installed, I'll say it another way, we now see it as part of the landscape of the city that belongs here. But when it first went in, it was a radical idea to take the domestic and the personal object and bring it up to monumental size. So I appreciate the clothespin because it shows how our thinking about public art has evolved away just from visions of the elite to the everyday.
Well, it's hard for me to say that there's just one, but when pressed, I would say the Swan Memorial Fountain. That work has everything. It has these incredibly beautiful sculptures that actually relate to Philadelphia because they represent our three rivers, the Schuylkill, the Delaware, and the Wissahickon. It has sound, which kind of buffers you from the outside world. It's a landmark. People have to go around it. It organizes traffic. It's a beautiful retreat. So when you put all of that together, you create this beautiful fountain that it's the only one in the world of its kind. And I think that people appreciate that. Even if they don't know so much about art or public art, they can appreciate it in so many different ways.
I really love a piece that's in the terminal, the airport terminal, Terminal F in Philadelphia Airport, that just has objects that belong to people. And the first time I saw it, it reminded me of home. I connected to it. It's fun, it's quirky, it's Philadelphia. So whether you live here or you're a visitor, when you pass by that installation, it makes you smile, it makes you think, it makes you remember. And I think it reminds me so much of the city.